Episode is presented by TimeTrack Go, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. The unique graphical employee time card helps you quickly identify and fix mistakes, cutting your editing time in half so you can go on with your day. TimeTrack Go will not only save you time and money each week, but the easy to understand user interface and the ability to turn a tablet into a time clock will get you and your team up and going in just minutes. And now your hours can go to your favorite payroll systems, including Gusto, ADP Workforce Now, Paychex, and many more. Find out what a simply better solution can do for your business, too. To learn more and sign up for a 14-day free trial, go to www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com or call 888-321-9922. Let's go. Welcome back, folks. What's going on, Walt?
Hey, it's another show, IAP. It's about payroll, season 7.
Season
How you
7.
doing, Brian?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm loving it. I'm loving the weather in South Florida. It's getting cool. I think tomorrow
Yeah.
we're supposed to have the high is 76.
Oh, that's perfect.
People
That's
gonna bug out in Florida, bro.
that's grilling
Bubble
weather.
coats is coming out.
Oh no, but at the sun's out, man. Oh, that's perfect. At the
Yes,
sun's out, man,
I can't. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. But it's funny. Like the first winter I spent down here, I was at Target getting something or whatever, and it was like 60, 70 degrees outside. People in front of me were buying skellies and gloves and scarves. I was like,
you
what
got
in
the
the
winter, got the
hell?
winter, got the winter
The
boots
winters,
on.
yes, the Uggs come
Yeah,
out, the bubble coats
yeah.
come. I'm like, what is going on with
You
people?
see the Timbs come out. Yep.
Tim's come out, and that the most I do is put on a hoodie, and I'm still wearing shorts and slides.
Okay, so when we say Timbs, for those of you who are not
Oh,
familiar with
Timberland
that, we're
boots.
talking about Timberland boots.
Yes, Timberland
We
boots.
call them
Oh,
Timbs.
look up on TikTok. They just dropped a commercial actually too. It was a Timberland commercial,
Right.
and because we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop this year, they dropped a commercial with a bunch of legends like Rakim was in it and
Oh,
Raekwon
nice.
is in it, and
Nice.
they're talking about how they renamed Tim's, right? Timberland boots.
Oh,
And you ever heard of beef and broccoli? You ever heard the
yes.
mac and cheeses, right? Those,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
the hiking ones, we got the butters, the regular construction ones are butters, but the hiking ones, depending on the
Yeah.
color, the beef and
See,
broccoli, da, da, da.
see. So I'm guessing from all the different like styles and like Timberlands that you're talking about. I'm guessing that at one point you had a substantial collection of them.
No,
You never did?
I never
Okay,
had,
okay.
I never had, I liked clothes growing up, but I never obsessed about them. It wasn't my focus.
Yeah.
And so I was good if I just had the butters and the blacks
Okay,
on
okay,
the
okay.
black Tim. Yeah, I was
Gotcha.
always good, and I also didn't have a lot of money and couldn't. So I just got what
Uh,
I just got basics. Like, all right, I need the black ones and the butters because I can wear that with everything. Just basic stuff. Same thing with like my Air Force Ones, which we call Uptowns. I just got whites and blacks because
uh,
I couldn't afford to have many colors.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
just couldn't. And it
But you okay.
if I didn't put my money into that. Whereas my friends
Understood.
did, they upset, they were sneakerheads, and that it just wasn't my thing. Yeah. Anywho, we talking about the holidays, and we figured what better than to celebrate the holidays than to share best practices for payroll folks during the
Yeah,
holidays, right? Got to keep these things
yeah.
in mind. Don't forget your employees as we get caught up in the shopping and the frenzy of it
Yeah.
all.
Yep.
Remember that you still have to pay your employees holiday pay.
Oh man.
So we're gonna
Uh
go through some of that with
yes.
y'all. What's up?
Yes. And there yes, absolutely. You want to make sure that your handbook is up to date with
Handbook is up
all
to date.
verbiage.
Yes. Oh
So
yeah. Oh,
so
that's a good
so
call
so
out.
so so,
So
so it deep
let's get
all
into
that
it.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we break this up? Well, you got a bunch of stuff here. Is there
Yeah.
more now?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Boom. Well, let's just alternate the subjects. Yeah, you got a couple subjects
Yeah.
here. Let's alternate the first. You go and kick it off, and I'll
Okay.
take
You
holiday
come in
pay
and
calculations. Yeah,
okay.
I'll come in
All
with
right.
that one.
All right. So understanding your holiday pay eligibility. So I'm going to
Yes.
start off with the first section. Number one, Are they a full-time or a part-time employee? Full-time employees typically enjoy more comprehensive holiday pay benefits rather than their part-time counterparts.
Yeah,
Part-time employees may still be
depending on the
eligible for
company.
holiday pay,
Hmm.
but the entitlements might be prorated
Yes.
based on their regular working hours. So let's just
Yes.
say the company has a policy in place that hey, you are part time, but you still do get part time holiday, and you have a schedule of I work 4 hours, two to
Yeah,
four
4
hours a
hours
day.
instead of 8.
So
Yep.
I get 4 hours of holiday instead of the 8 that a full time equivalent person would get.
Yep.
Or if you work 4 10s, you might get
You
10
should
hours of
get 10.
holiday
Yeah. Yeah.
versus the 8. No,
Good
no,
call
say
out. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
For
So that's
this
something to consider. Go ahead.
those four I'm sorry to cut. Yeah, sidebar. Those 410s are becoming very popular in a lot of industries. I felt like at
Mhm.
first it was like, oh, it only lends itself well to this, and not true. A lot of industries are adopting that. So
Yeah, if you
good
go work
stuff.
a
Yeah.
schedule, hey,
Yeah.
every other Friday you have
If it
off, or
work,
every
yeah.
other Monday you have off,
Yeah.
just
If it
rotate
works
like
for
that.
y'all, if y'all can make it work, God bless.
All right, number two, probationary periods. Some
Yep.
companies require employees to complete a probationary period before
Yeah.
becoming eligible for holiday
Holiday
pay.
pay. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what I was talking about with the
Handbook.
next point, the
Oh.
handbook.
Hmm.
Employers should clearly communicate probationary policies to new hires to avoid misunderstandings. So you want to have
Yeah.
everything broken out in the handbook.
Handbook. Yeah.
Because if it's not, you can find yourself in a situation where, hey, I've seen it both ways, right? Where an employee comes and say, hey, like you didn't define this in your handbook.
Yep.
I'm a part-time employee, but there's
Hmm.
no verbiage in there saying that I'm not entitled to
Wait,
the 8 hours.
you saying you had that happen?
Yeah,
Good
where
for them for reading the handbook because I
yeah.
don't know anybody that's read their whole handbook.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's some
Oh well,
employees,
maybe they just looked it up in that
yeah,
section.
yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, some employees are just like, hey, anything regarding pay,
I want to look
I'm
it
gonna
up.
read that. Let
Fair.
me look at that
That's
holiday
actually what
pay.
I do read. Yep.
And
Fair.
and if I recall correctly, all the holiday it was like one or two sentences about holiday pay. Hey, if I think it said something if you don't work the day before or after, you're not eligible, and that was
Oh
it.
yes, that's a huge one. That's
And
huge.
that was
Eligibility.
it.
Yeah.
But see, think about it. That's the only thing that it said. It was like it didn't talk about part time. It didn't talk about full time. It didn't
Oh,
talk about
okay.
any of that
Hmm.
stuff.
You got
And
to pay
so
everybody then.
it left room for interpretation.
Hmm.
And so they
Hmm.
immediately had to update that.
Hmm. Yep.
And also another thing to consider is that you need to have your employees sign the acknowledgement for the handbook, especially if you update it, right? Because
Hmm.
that can be another pitfall for an employer if you don't have an employee sign it, because an employee could have signed the
The old
older
one.
handbook
Yep.
that covers like some prehistoric stuff that the
Yep.
company had in place.
Yep.
So, and the person could deny. I've seen it. A person denied, like, oh, I never got the him. I never got the
Yep.
new him.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yep.
And because they didn't sign it,
Yep.
they were like, oh, I didn't sign it. So the old one applies to me
Yep.
in this case.
Yep.
And I've seen it actually work for them. And it's like,
I
hey, they sign
I
it.
have seen that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's something to consider.
That is a good one.
Number three,
Very
contract
good
and
call out.
temporary employees. Contract and temporary workers may or may not be entitled to holiday pay depending on the terms of their
Hmm.
contract their
Yes.
employment contracts, right? So
Yes.
think about it. So if you have something in place as a, you want to make sure you define that in the fine print, and
Hmm.
whether you're the employer, the contractor, or whatever, right? You want to make sure that all those things are defined out. So if that's a part of your thing as a contractor or a temporary worker, you're like, hey, because I have seen temporary workers be like full time and also get holiday pay while they're working temp. I have seen temp employees get paid holiday pay.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it all depends on the company.
Yeah. So another point here,
Okay.
employers should clarify holiday pay provisions in temporary contracts to
Yep.
prevent disputes.
Yep.
Again, make sure
I,
you have that everything documented,
I
right?
think you led with it perfectly when you before you even started. You said your employee handbook needs to be updated.
Yep.
Got to know what's in there.
Yep. And then number four, before I pass it, casual or on-call workers may
Like per
have
diem
different,
people.
yes,
Yeah.
may have different, or so, if you're in the teacher world, education world, substitute teacher, on-call, whatever, you may have different holiday pay entitlements, often based on the frequency of their work or a predetermined agreement. Again, it's all falls back to whatever's written down, whatever's agreed upon, employee handbook, contract, whatever. You want to make sure you define those things. Don't leave it to interpretation.
And not
Don't leave
only,
it to
yep,
interpretation. And then,
not
like,
only, yeah,
and to your point, Brian, most companies may a lot of companies may not do this, and most employees that are in this situation, whether you're temp, contract, full time, part time, they probably don't even realize this stuff, right? Because they're
nope.
just like they're just going through the norm. Oh, this is how it works here, and
Hmm.
they don't have that education or that empowerment to really challenge an employer on stuff
Yep.
and really force them to think, oh, we need to update this and become better.
Yep.
So go ahead,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, no, what I was going to say also is you want to make sure that you're, even though you have, you may think, look, my system is set up right, the employee policy, blah, 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 everybody knows. But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that your managers are properly awarding holiday time, or what if somebody's flagged wrong and your system is
Mm-hmm.
over
Mm-hmm.
giving, for instance, I've seen in the past where the managers are responsible for loading holiday time on the time cards, and instead of being diligent about who they're giving it to, they just load it for everybody
Yes.
and not realizing, wait, my part-timers in there, my per diems in there, I have an active intern from last summer that's still in there. Guess what? They all just got paid.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the payroll person, then you need to audit for that. That's my point. As payroll, don't rely on all these things that you think are going to work. You still need to, especially now as the season rolls in, all these holidays, you should be comparing your worker list to who's getting a holiday payment and making sure they're eligible for that holiday payment. Keep
Yes.
your system honest. Yeah, call out. And then as we talk about holiday pay calculations,
Mm.
first one is base pay versus overtime rules. You want to be sure whether your company grants calculates overtime on holiday hours.
Mm.
Most do not because
Why is that?
thank you, because most rules are set up on the work hour piece. You only get overtime on work hours, right?
Holiday pay isn't worked hours,
It's not a
Brian.
work hour. You're sitting at home drinking eggnog. You're not working. So you
Mhm.
do not get the
So
overtime premium based on
oh,
holiday hours.
okay, okay.
And most of the time, if that's the case, you don't get it based on PTO hours either. You don't get it based on sick hours, right? You can't think about it. You can't accrue more time or no, overtime. I'm thinking about something else, but you don't get overtime on those hours. You're not working. So it's really
Mm,
clear it's work hours, right?
okay.
And then
Yeah.
that's how you got to categorize your time. Employers need to establish that transparent policy to avoid confusion. So again, it all circles back to the employee handbook. Make sure that is spelled out that overtime premium rate is only calculated on work hours. One sentence. It's
Yes,
simple.
yes. Keyword there, transparent,
Be transparent.
clear,
That's
concise,
clear.
and clear.
Yep.
Yes.
You may have to explain it a few times because what does that mean? Well, work hours
Mhm.
are when you're physically working.
Yes.
That's it. So number two is statutory versus company policies, meaning understand the difference between an holiday that the government is mandating. So, for
Yeah.
instance, what is it like Labor Day?
Yes.
There's like a
A
few of them that are big
federal holiday.
federal, but that
Yes.
doesn't mean you get paid for them, right? It just
Hmm.
means you have to have the day off
Yes.
or you should have the day off because then and
Hmm.
if you do work, you should get a holiday premium if you work. So
Hmm.
but this is all goes back to that handbook and understanding your statutory, your mandated things versus what's company, right?
Yeah.
Number three is
Follow.
accrual systems. Ooh, I think we are going to talk about it. I alluded it to it before, but we're
Yeah.
going to talk about it. Some companies utilize an accrual system where employees earn holiday pay based on the number of hours worked.
Ooh.
Some companies utilize an accrual where holiday employees earn holiday pay. Oh, okay. So they can accrue holiday pay. That's interesting.
It is
Employer,
interesting.
yeah,
It's almost
just
like
like
PTO.
you basically accrue PTO. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Employers should communicate these systems clearly to ensure employees understand how pay accumulates exactly.
Wow.
Have it clearly spelled out in your policies and how you get in that time.
Have you ever seen that setup in your
No,
experience?
not for holiday pay. What I've seen is one bucket for everything. Oh, wait,
Mhm.
here's our bucket for PTO. It's everything. You want to take holidays off? Use your PTO. I've seen that, which is not that cool
Yeah.
unless they're really generous with that bucket.
Like, the only thing I've seen in regards to any type of PTO setup is a category called floating holiday, where a
Hmm.
company gives you like that. I worked for a few employers
Yes.
that
Yeah.
give you like a floating holiday during the year. Or
Yeah. But to me, those are supposed to be for your differences when we're talking about religion
yeah,
differences. What was it? I had asked recently, oh, we're gonna get off for Juneteenth. And HR was like, no, but you can use PTO.
yep,
You can use your floating holiday. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
thank you. It's used for those things where maybe the company doesn't celebrate it, but you want to and you want to recognize it, so you take it.
yeah.
Um, you want to take us through the legal considerations, and then I'll go do the next one. And oh, it's
Right.
the last one.
Yep.
Okay,
You can do the common pitfalls and the conclusion. So
got
I'll
it.
do legal considerations. So these two, number one, compliance with labor laws. Employers must stay updated on labor laws governing holiday pay in their jurisdiction.
Yeah,
Non-compliance can lead to legal repercussions
absolutely.
and damage the employer's reputation. I think that's really important because, especially with the way the economy is now and the way things are going now, for some industries, it's hard for them to find workers, right?
Yeah,
If you have a bad reputation out there, hey, they don't pay holiday pay, or their policies are all jacked up or whatever, like this and that. Like, you don't want that reputation out there because everything is done online now, right?
hmm,
All the reviews, like people can review your company, and just a little key component out there for those of you looking for a new job: review the companies that you're applying for, right? So when you go
hmm,
apply to company A, go online and research the company and see what their
yeah,
reviews are. Like, hey, what did the current employees and former employees have to say about this place that I'm going to work at? They may
yep,
discuss like the holiday pay and all the confusion about the handbook not being clear and everything
hmm,
like that. So that's
yeah.
something
It's
to
a good one.
consider, right?
Yeah.
And then number two, notification requirements. I think this is a good one, right?
Yes.
Employers
Reminders around
employers
this time would be cool. Yep.
Yes, employers should inform employees well in advance about holiday pay policies, including a specific procedure for requesting holiday time off.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
one too. Yep. Everybody wants
so
to take off this time of year.
yeah, so in certain industries like payroll, the infamous thing is like we have those blackout
Yeah. Yeah.
where, depending on your setup, nobody in the time of the year, nobody in your team might not be able to take time off during a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in
Yeah.
those
Me
situations
too. I was just gonna say I've been there.
when I've been one of only two processors, and it's just, hey, you can't go anywhere because it's year end, tax season's coming around. We got to make sure we balance out all the taxes and everything like that. So you can't go anywhere for the month of October.
How about
You can't
this?
do anything.
I
Yeah.
was at a college that the every the schools was closed, straight closed for a week or two. No
What?
one was there. And
Wow.
if you were administrative staff, you got to go home. You didn't have to work for those 2 weeks. They had 2 weeks off. It was paid. For if you were
Mm,
again though, it all depended on the eligibility and all this stuff that we're talking about. My
mm-hmm,
point is though, but because we were payroll and I took the hit, I was the manager at the time. I let the team go home. And the system we were using, like I had to close the year
mm-hmm.
and I had to reset everything for the new year. It wasn't automatic. I
Yeah.
couldn't just be like, "Oh, I'm home, I'm chilling," and there was no remote work at the time.
Yeah.
So I think I had to be in like 4 or 5 days when I could have been at home. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
all depends.
I think I want to add one more here under
Go for it.
legal considerations that's not legal, that's not listed. Don't show any bias,
Yeah.
right? Don't show any bias, like in
Who
it's
gets
and who gets what,
to
who
go
gets
home?
time
Who gets
off.
to
Yeah,
exactly?
like, oh, like just because you have a preference or you have certain political stance or
Yep.
religious belief, don't
Oh yeah. Oh
don't
no.
be Don't be more biased. Don't be more likely to give someone who's Christian or follows
Right.
under your same umbrella
Right.
more
Yes.
leeway than somebody who is Muslim. Somebody
Yes.
who is
You know where I've
Buddhist.
seen that
Whatever.
with?
You know what
I've
I'm saying?
seen it. Yeah, I've seen it with shopping. Oh, how come
Mhm.
they get to come in late and leave early because they're
Yeah.
Christmas shopping? I don't celebrate. What can I go leave? I just want to leave. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
No,
Very
and
good
that's a
point.
good, and it's a good, yeah, it is a good point because that, yeah, that's a good call out. The bias.
Yep.
The next one is common pitfalls and how to avoid them as we close it up. Miscommunication. Clear and consistent communication about holiday pay policies is crucial.
Yes.
Pay policies, eligibility, again, all the things that we're talking about. Employers should provide written documentation outlining company's holiday pay structure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And right around now is when you should recirculate these things to
Yes.
so that your teams that are handling these questions don't get inundated after the fact,
Yep.
right? Because the day after some holiday pay was supposed to be paid and didn't get, boom, that's it. Phones are ringing, emails are blaring. I didn't get my holiday. I didn't get my. You ain't eligible. You ain't eligible. You ain't
Yeah.
eligible. You ain't,
Yeah. 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 So
you
so
know.
let me ask you this
Yeah.
here. Who is responsible for communicating that out? Is it
HR and
payroll?
operations.
Okay.
HR. Well, is
It
it
could be
payroll?
anyone, right?
It could be payroll. Look, I think if HR and operations aren't doing already, payroll can prompt them to do it. Hey guys, and payroll can do it, right? It comes back to that thing where, you know, what I always say, we're not the fiduciary responsibility, but we have fiduciary
Mhm.
responsibility.
Yeah.
So be proactive. And as a payroll professional, don't cry and get mad. Nobody's community. Nobody's you. Then you do it,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
as we were talking to someone recently, and we were explaining to them like how pointed the CPP is as far as testing,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
really focuses on calculating that check and all the things
Mhm.
about it. But there's way more to being a payroll professional than calculating that check, right?
Yep.
Because anywho, and this is one of those things. It's hey, if the communications aren't happening for you, forge it, lead the charge, be the
Yeah.
stakeholder that says, hey, these are the things that we need communicated out to our employees. Nobody's going to argue with you. If they do, get out of there. Don't work there anymore. Leave
Yep.
because you need a partner in HR. You need the partner in operations. If they're not sending it out, ask for permission. Hey, can I send this out to the employees? Can I forward this along to the people who communicate to employees? There should be some type of communication channel to your employees, right?
Man, you're absolutely right, bro. Because even if the other departments, operations, HR, are not doing what they're supposed to do, or they're not even thinking of it, right? Because they have other stuff
And
going
that's
on,
exactly, and that's fair,
right?
and that's why you, yep,
Yeah, take that initiative to say like, hey,
yes,
put that
this is
spotlight on
important.
and say, hey,
Yes.
this is what we need to do, because
Hmm.
sometimes we can get so caught up in other, like during, like usually around the holiday season is when those auditors come out
Oh
and they're
yeah.
looking for this, looking for that, so they can get caught up in this stuff, trying to make sure that the company is compliant from an auditory
Hmm.
standpoint,
Hmm.
right? And it's just okay, wait a minute, are we doing this right by our employees?
Exactly.
Is
Exactly.
this right? Do we send out enough notice?
Yes.
Those are all those year end. That's why we send out those notices
Year
about
end.
W
Thank you for saying
two,
it. Yep. Year
updating
end.
your address. Hey,
Yes.
these are changes that you may have to look out for when it comes to your taxes. Read on this. Like you're like as a payroll professional or HR professional, you're not giving people advice on what to file or how to file.
No.
That's
No.
not your job. You're not a tax professional. If that's what if you're a tax professional, then fine. You can
Great. Yeah.
guide
Awesome.
them on that. But
Yeah.
if you're in payroll HR, you shouldn't be like saying, "Oh yeah, you
Just
should file
reminders. Yeah.
single zero."
Just
Don't give somebody
reminders.
that advice. Yep.
You want to tell people now, though, this is the time to update your W-4s. You know what I mean? I just
Yes.
saw,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, a post on LinkedIn that was talking about W-4s and how challenging they are. And I told them, I posted, I was like, get Gerard's tool for the W-4. That payroll guy, Gerard Hall, go
Mhm.
get his tool. And
Great tool right
it's
there.
a life-saving tool, exactly.
Yeah.
But
He has a
also,
yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. What I wanted to say before I forget is go take a year-end webinar if you're in payroll, if you're in HR, if you have to do these things, all the year-end webinars are popping up right now. I urge
Yes.
you to sit
Look,
through it. take it, prepare for year end.
Yes, most payroll providers that
Yes,
you
they'll give
use
you a free one.
will have a
Hmm.
year-end one that you can use. It can be on demand. So even if it's already occurred, you can
Hmm.
go to their training site or their whatever site on their app, and you can view that stuff. And
Hmm.
you can have your whole team do it. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I just said something like to that for my team, for
Hmm.
like to say, hey, this is the training for year end.
Yep.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it
Yep.
out in your free time when you have some little bit of downtime. Have it going.
And check back with us in the next few weeks. We'll do a year end as well, a year end prep, because there's a
Mhm.
general one that you can just do. Again, your software provider should have it, but
Mhm.
hey, if you're using something off the shelf and it doesn't really have a lot of supported service, we'll give it to you too, because there's general year ends one out there.
Yes.
If you can't
Or yeah.
afford them,
Yep.
check back in a few weeks. We'll have one here.
Yep. Yeah.
And
So
then,
sorry for saying that. Go
no,
ahead.
of course, no,
Mhm.
you're good. The last one is failure to plan ahead. Employers should plan for holiday pay expenses in their budget to avoid financial strain during
Ooh,
the holiday season.
that's a
I
good
would say
call.
employees should do this as well. This one's calling out employers, but employees should do the same, right? Adequate planning ensures that employees receive their holiday pay on time. That's a very good call out for employers because it's a cash flow thing. You to have my money. So you
Yeah.
gotta have, yeah, we gotta make sure that that's a really good call out to make sure the
Especially
cash is
yeah,
there.
especially
Yeah.
for the cash, and also if you have a setup where you everyone operates in a silo, and you have two different regions of payroll.
Mm.
So this person knows how to process payroll for all these regions, but there's no cross training. And so if the other person couldn't sit in their neighbors or their payroll or their peers' shoes or sit in their desk and do their schools, then you may have a problem, especially if there's some unplanned leave or absence for one of
Mhm.
your workers, and then you find yourself in a pickle because the person who is had the unscheduled absence is the only one who could do a certain job,
Oh
whether
yeah.
that's payroll
Ooh,
and
great
HR,
call out.
and
Yep.
then you find yourself and then you like, oh, we don't have these
Labor planning.
contingencies.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have these contingencies in place. Like we don't have anything listed out, or there's so much things that go into these pitfalls and planning ahead. Like,
Yep.
do you have SOPs set up in place? Do you have these different things so somebody can just sit down and do a job in case something like that happens? I hope that makes sense. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah. For sure. For heck yeah. Heck yes, labor management. It's
Yeah.
anticipating labor management. It's right.
Mhm.
It's anticipating not only the pay but the time off. Hey, folks, because some places will be like, look, you guys need to put your holiday request on the calendar now so that I can manage it and figure out if there's
Yeah.
conflicts and it's, oh man, these two people want the same week, they may not be able to take it. They got to take different. So that's a great call out. It's labor management. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
And that's it, folks. As we ramp up the holiday season, we promise to deliver more helpful information.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So the conclusion here is that holiday pay is more than just a monetary benefit. It's a reflection of an organization's commitment to the well-being of its workforce.
That's
By
dope.
understanding the eligibility criteria, calculating the entitlements accurately and correctly, and adhering to all legal requirements, both employers and employees can navigate holiday pay seamlessly. As we celebrate the holiday season, let's ensure the spirit of generosity extends to the workplace, fostering a positive and harmonious environment for all.
Yeah,
So
no
basically,
doubt.
man, make your employees happy.
Yeah.
And employers, if you do the right thing and you cover your bases, you'll be happy too.
And I think
Right.
that's a
At the
really
end of
good
the day.
call out though, because it
Yeah.
is right. It's more than just because not everybody gets holiday pay. I think that's the
Oh,
call out here in this little last
yes.
tidbit, right? It is a
Yes.
testament of what your company believes, right? And is a commitment. Not everybody gets holiday pay.
And not every company celebrates or
That
observes the
oh,
thing. So, like, you ever work for a company like we only observe 9 days
yes,
out of the
that's it.
year,
That's it.
and then
Yeah, I
other
think
company,
it's
well,
10 now.
we observe 10 or 11. Like
Hmm.
they observe all the different holidays. Like,
Some of them, all of them. School systems are like all of them. But yeah, here's another one.
mhm.
What's observed for the talent and not observed for administration. I say
Yes,
talent.
yes,
I say talent because we're payroll and HR is always a support service,
yes,
right?
yes.
There's
Mhm.
always somebody out there actually doing the stuff that makes the money, and we're an
Absolutely.
expense unless you work
Yeah.
for a payroll company or HR company, right? Then you're the talent as well. But most of the time we're support staff. And it could be like, for instance, teachers, right? If you support,
Yeah.
that's an easy one. If you support schools, the teachers are off that day, but corporate
You know
didn't get
nothing.
off. Yeah,
But
and it
it
works
might be
vice versa
reversed.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And it does work vice versa sometimes. But I don't know how, I don't know. I guess this is just a sidebar. A lot of us at corporate, we make sure that somebody's on call so that if the school needs help, or if your location, if you're a retailer and you're open on Sundays. I had that at my last job, right? They were open Sundays, but
Yep.
corporate didn't work Sundays, but some people did. Some people, he had to have an on-call
Yeah.
rotation for Sundays, especially just IT. If systems go down, hello, somebody
It
needs to help.
happens.
It's
It happens.
retail. You need to
It
make
happens.
money. All these things are important. Keep it all
Yeah.
in mind, folks, as we ramp up for the holiday season.
And
Just be
yeah.
safe, be smart, be professional. You're still at work. It's still a
Yes,
work
man.
event.
Yes.
Stay focused.
Before we get off, man, we got to have this little debate here.
Of what?
What is not even a debate? What is your favorite holiday for you during the holiday season? What's your favorite holiday? Or and I guess like any holiday during the year. Is there one that sticks out more to you than the other that you like the best?
It used to be New Year's. I think as
Mhm.
when I was young, it was New Year's. I think it's shifting to Thanksgiving now.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're talking about holidays. Without For me, holidays is just an opportunity, like to get the family together, have that fellowship, and because not getting too deep. Maybe this was more of a safe talk thing we should have did,
Mhm.
but the meanings behind how Thanksgiving is not like the origins of Thanksgiving is very
Yeah.
controversial, and I make sure that my kids are aware of that and all that. Let's keep it real, right? This was born out of
This.
mad out of something else, right? But what I have rebranded it as is a family event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think Thanksgiving is a great one because it forces that eating around the table and sitting down and just hanging out. And I
Mm.
love it. Like all my family, like we plan the menu together and
Oh,
get
nice.
excited. Yeah, yeah. Everybody has their input of what dishes they want, and
So you don't do a typical Thanksgiving. You just like you may have
we've
like
we've
certain
rebranded it.
standard
Yeah.
dishes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But that's so cool, man. I
Yeah,
like
there
that.
was one year we didn't even do a full turkey. Now, I don't, not that they always like my ideas, but I get to influence a little bit. One year we did like turkey loins only,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
yeah, I thought it was good. Not a bit, but yeah. So you got to keep some of the like turkey roasts. Last year I over fried the fried turkey, so I'm not doing fried turkey anymore. The juice is not worth the squeeze. I'll let somebody else do it. Just do the oven one, yo. But yeah, that I think. What about you?
So for me, I'm a very visual person.
Uh huh.
So for me, like Thanksgiving is cool and I like it for the food and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But like Christmas, it's the lights for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
all the snow. It's like seeing the
Fuck
decorations and
that.
stuff
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
Excuse my
Like,
language.
you
Forget the
know what I'm saying?
snow.
Yeah, like it's all that. It's like, and for me, it used to be 4th of July
Fourth of July is another one I like. Yeah.
because it was like, hey, it's sunny, pool weather,
Yes.
grilling,
Barbecue. Great. Yep.
barbecues, and then
Yep.
fireworks,
Yep.
like yeah, visual and stuff like that. So I like those things, but I like Christmas because the Christmas New Year time because you're
Hmm.
getting like the sports on, you're getting football, you're getting basketball, you're getting those games on the holidays.
Yeah.
It's the times families together, and
Yep.
then you can still get fireworks for New Year's. Like they do all
Well,
the
in
shirts
Florida
with
they do. Yeah.
you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like they do that in a lot of different places. I think it's that for me. Like it's the visual piece for me. It's
Cool.
seeing like the lights and the Christmas and stuff like that. So I would have to definitely say like Christmas for me, man.
That's dope. No doubt.
It's
No
not
doubt.
necessarily about the gifts or anything. It's just
Yeah. No,
oh,
it's a nice time of season. People get
yeah,
excited. You're fine. You can't see you.
yeah.
You see the background. If you see yourself, then you see. My bad. My son was in the background.
I tell you what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's it. Thank you for sharing that, Brian.
Yeah. No doubt. Likewise.
This has been another episode of It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar, Walter William Duncan III. Stay tuned. Check out the sites. It's about payroll.io. Check out it's about your paycheck.com.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
tuned. Great things to
Yeah.
come.
See you soon. Love you guys. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to It's About Payroll. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.